Hey everybody, it's Van, and I want to show you guys a project that I created for my boyfriend's mother for her birthday. Today's music is brought to you by channel 850 on DirecTV. I don't know the artist, it's some jazz channel, so I'm going to pan down now and show you guys my completed project. And I'm going to try my best to not be shaky, because this is like I don't know how many times I've tried to do this video without shaking. So for this project I used the Tim Holtz Burlap panel by his District Market line, and it's all covered by burlap, and the structure of it is kind of like canvas. It's like a canvas panel, and it has this script design on the back, but it's mainly covered up by the papers and embellishments, but you could kind of see it peeking through. And I really like the edges, how they did the edges right here. I didn't do that, it just came like that. But I bought this burlap panel at TJ Maxx for $7, and I'm pretty sure it was way more than that when it first came out, knowing how, you know, Tim Holtz products are. So, for this project, I used the Prima romance novel line designed by the lovely Marian Smith. And, so I guess we'll just start with the base of this project, which is this 12 by 12 paper right here. I don't know the name of the paper, but I just basically edged all the edges with gesso. After I distressed it. I don't have a distressing tool, so I just use the edges of scissors, and I use my nail also to kind of, you know, make it however I want. But I went over the edges with gesso after that, and it made it very hard. It's durable. And then I also used modeling paste and this stencil right here. The stencil, I think it's by the Crafter's Workshop. I like it a lot. I think it's called the hexagon stencil. And then right here I use the other side of the stencil where you usually smear the modeling paste on, and I just stamped the leftover modeling paste down here because I thought, you know, it'd be nice. And then I just added gesso in random areas like here and here. Here's some more of that stencil work right here. And then I went right in the middle of the paper and I cut it in half, but not totally all the way, you know, all the way down through the paper. And I also did the same thing here. I just distressed the edges and went over it with gesso. And I also went over these areas right here with gesso, and I'll talk about those areas later. So first off, on both of these corners, I wound up some jute twine, or some of you call it burlap string, along with this wire, this jewelry wire. I'm not exactly sure what gauge it is. I just bought like a used roll from a thrift store, and I just kind of bunched it together and put it in the corners. So here's one with the natural color, and the first one I showed you was the white. And then right here I have a chain going through the folds, and it creates this chain swag across the canvas. And I secured it with some glossy accents so it's not really noticeable. It just looks like it's hanging there naturally. And so it hangs through the folds. And on this side, I just wove up some of this Prima lace right here, which I'm in love with. I don't know the name of it. I think it's like Alarcon or something. It looks like it's crocheted, but it's probably not. It doesn't unravel when you cut it. And then on the end of this chain right here is this old earring that I got from a yard sale, and I think it goes together really well with the collection. It's black, gold tones, and I think that's like pink or purple, and there's some green in there. And then I have a bow made out of seam binding, which is imperfect. It's fine by me. It looks actually pretty good. So I guess right here I have some embellishments by Momenta, and they sell this at Michael's. So most of the metal embellishments, like this flower in the photo corners, and then this right here is by Momenta. This image right here, I googled, I just typed in vintage fairies or vintage children, or vintage fairy children, I think, and then I just printed it out on regular cardstock because I figured maybe she would want to maybe use it as a photo mat and just put her own picture in there. But I went over the sides with gesso as well after I distressed it, and then on the sides right here some of that May Arts lace ribbon, and then as a photo mat I used this paper designed by the same collection, and I just used the Tim Holtz edge die. It's a doily die that was given to me by my good friend Van. Thank you so much, Van, for giving me this die. I really love it. And then right here I just have a cluster of Wild Orchid Crafts flowers, and this right here is just a scrap piece of that crochet tablecloth that I bunched up and put a button in the middle. It looks like a flower. I have the wood buttons that are in the collection. I have this lace applique that I got from the antique mall, and this is pretty much my favorite color combo on the flowers. I used Lindy Stamp Gang to spray all these flowers, and this one is the Tiffany's blue, I believe. And I use, I think, antique white for the edge of the petals. This flower is the only flower I use gesso for the edges. The rest is just acrylic paint. So on these papers right here, or this side of the folds, I went over it with gesso to give it texture. But what I also did was adhere this lace trim right here that's attached to this lace. I adhered that with, what did I adhere that with? I think modeling paste. Yeah, modeling paste. I saw a video by Golden, which is the brand of modeling paste that I use, and they said that it also works as a great adhesive. So I think from now on, for mixed media and maybe other things that work well, I might use modeling paste as an adhesive for laces, among other things that I could think of. So because of that, I cut up some of that Prima lace right here and adhered it with the modeling paste. And I think it gives it really good interest. And it's way better than using double-sided tape or glue, because with double-sided tape you can kind of see through the lace that it's shiny, and that kind of bothers me. This kind of looks natural to me, like it's stuck on there pretty naturally, you know, besides the texture of the modeling paste which I really like, the combo of modeling paste and lace. And then, you know, same thing here, modeling paste and that adheres the lace. And Tim Holtz pen nib. I thought that was kind of fitting as far as, you know, the name of the paper line and a pen nib, of course. And then right here, down here, I have a brooch that I bought from a yard sale. It looks like it was cross-stitched. And then down here I have the new Prima zippers, and I went over this with some gesso as well. And right here I just have some flowers that I sprayed with some Lindy Stamp Gang, and again I went over it with acrylic paint and gesso. I have these little ones are from Prima. I have some of this Prima. This probably came out last CHA. It's not very recent. I bought this a while ago, but it's by Prima. It's these little jewels right here, and I think they're in the vintage colors. And then I have some lace behind the flowers. This corner right here, I ripped the piece. It was an accident. When I was distressing, it just ripped. And so I decided to add some chicken wire, which is a funny story. I told my boyfriend I wanted some chicken wire, and I know we had some like attached to a wooden gate around the front of our front door, and he took it off the gate and he just gave me the piece of chicken wire. Like, it's a big piece, so I think it'll last me for a while, but I think some people, they get it at hardware stores as well. But yeah, I can't believe he took off the chicken wire off the gate for me to do this project. But I went over this chicken wire with some Robin's Egg Blue acrylic paint, as well as a little bit of stickles in the platinum color. It's hard to tell. And then I just stuck the button from the collection in there. And then on the side of the chicken wire area, I added some of the washi tape on the sides, just so the recipient does not accidentally poke themselves with the chicken wire, because I made the mistake of not cutting it in a bigger piece where I could wrap it behind the canvas. So yeah, I had to bend the chicken wire. I even hot glued it on, the ends of it to the side so it doesn't stick out, and then I covered it with the washi tape. And then right here I have some charms dangling by Brad's. So this one right here is by the same pack of jewels by Prima, vintage colors. And this one right here is a charm I made out of a head pin. These same head pins I use for making stick pins, yes. And then this one right here is a Tim Holtz Muse token, which I went over with gesso and Robin's Egg Blue acrylic paint. And then this tassel is by Marion Smith Vintage Trinkets. And then I have the wood clock tucked behind this piece that I cut out from the collection. And right here I just punched holes on there and took a crochet hook and stuck the hook in there and just kind of pulled on it to make the paint, to rip it right here where it looks like it was ripped out of a little notepad. And I have it tucked behind this lace right here that I cut off from a shirt. And I think this is so cute right here where it has these little frays. And this one's from Momenta, but I went over it with some Robin's Egg Blue acrylic paint again. I think that's like my favorite acrylic paint color. But I think I'm done describing my project to you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed my first burlap canvas project. This is a first for me on a lot of levels. Besides, mixed media, I never made proper charms like that before using an actual jewelry tool set. I usually use my boyfriend's wrench and wire cutters to attach a charm to a chain, and it's really hard to doing that. And then my first time using chicken wire. The chicken wire was of course inspired by, I call chicken wire Queen Miranda, which her YouTube name is Ms. Liberty 25. She also inspired me to use gesso and modeling paste. I just love her projects, and this is, I guess, inspired by Miranda. So thank you, Miranda. You guys should really check her YouTube out if you haven't. It's awesome. But I hope you guys see some new techniques that haven't been, that you haven't seen yet, that I hope inspires you guys, because a lot of you guys inspire me to do what I do. I see that watching my old videos, that my style has evolved and my skills have evolved as well. My first layout, I think you guys have seen it. It's like, it's nothing compared to this layout. So thank you guys so much for inspiring me to do what I do, making these projects, and I hope to get better. So thank you guys for watching, and it's like It's almost 12 a.m. now, so have a good night, everyone. Bye.